We begin this hour with both presidential campaigns looking to court voters outside of their traditional bases. Vice President Harris is heading to suburban Michigan, where she is expected to speak in about an hour on American manufacturing jobs. Meantime, former President Trump is looking at deep blue Atlanta, Georgia today, where he's participating in a Q&A segment at the National Faith Advisory Summit before delivering a campaign speech later tonight. And it all comes as many Georgians are heading to the polls early. More than 2.5 million ballots already cast there, which is already more than half of the total voter turnout back in 2020. So Trump has gained a slight advantage over Harris in Georgia with just 8 days to go. He's holding an average polling lead of 1.4%. That is a statistical toss-up. So let's bring in NewsNation's Elizabeth Pran, who is live for us there in Atlanta, where Trump will be speaking later. Elizabeth, what is his strategy in this traditionally blue part of the state?
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the campaigns in these final days, right, Nichole? So we will be seeing the former president, as you mentioned. He'll be meeting with well over 1,000 pastors just a couple hours from now. You know, faith matters in Georgia. In fact, according to a Pew Research poll, about 40% of Georgia residents go to church on Sundays. And since October 16th, we've seen caravans from churches go to polling locations on Sundays because they do have weekend early voting availability. So some of them even calling themselves souls for the polls as they go and cast their vote. He'll be speaking with his own pastor, interviewed by Pastor Kane, answering Q&A, and we hear from both campaigns basically that they are the alternative to what would be a doomsday, right? We hear that a lot. It's kind of an apocalyptic alternative, and he's talking about faith, he's talking about life beginning at conception, all of those values that are incredibly important to evangelicals. And then hours after that, he'll head to Georgia Tech, which is where I am, and he'll be speaking to folks who are already lining up, and that rally will begin tonight around 7 p.m. Eastern. Nichole?
All right, so Elizabeth, let's talk about that early voting now in Georgia. More than half of the total vote in Georgia during the last election. What are you learning about who has turned out so far?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, the response that we have seen in Georgia. As you mentioned, 5 million participating in the last election. There's about 8 million eligible voters in the state of Georgia. And if we see those early voting numbers, that 2.7, that's not even including some of the mail-in ballots that are still coming in. We're breaking down some of the data that we can get. It's certainly reflective of what we're seeing across the country. People between the ages of 60 and 64, 55%. Female. So what does that mean to a campaign? Well, we can read between the lines. They're trying to get those low propensity voters, maybe those voters who sat out, they had apathy, they didn't feel like the election pertained to them. They're trying to get those voters, and we see that with former President Trump visiting Fulton County, where we're located. That's been very deep blue for some time. Cobb County, Gwinnett County last week. All these efforts that we're seeing to chip away some of the strongholds in the state of Georgia. We don't see him, and we do a little bit in some of those rural counties where he's already shored up support. We're seeing him in these counties now where he's trying to get the same enthusiasm that he received back in 2016 and people who maybe sat out in 2020, trying to chip away at some of that blue support. Nichole?
All right, Elizabeth Pran, live for us there in Atlanta. Elizabeth, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.